The story of Doom 2 and its console ports is a very interesting one. Where Doom 1 saw multiple releases across many systems, both powerful and not so powerful, Doom 2 only saw a handful of releases across consoles in the 1990s and early 2000s. This was to be expected. Doom 2 has larger levels, more enemies, and is generally more demanding than anything the Ultimate Doom could throw out. Consoles designed in the 1990s were largely not equipped to handle that. Yet the consoles that did house Doom 2 did end up presenting their own takes on the game. This resulted in a number of levels being introduced to replace some of the much larger levels that the consoles couldn't handle. The end result is a number of levels that have never made their way into an official Doom release outside of their original console debuts. Much like with the Doom 1 console exclusive video, today I'm going to be taking a look at these levels and giving my general impression on them. I will admit straight up that I am going into this having not played many of these levels. I should also point out that I'm not going to be talking about the split levels found in the Game Boy Advance version of Doom 2. These are interesting in their own right and will be covered in a future video on their own, but for all intents and purposes they are not new levels, simply levels that were cut in half, and thus I don't feel they belong in this video. I'm also going to avoid talking about No Rest for the Living, the Doom 2 expansion that was released on the Xbox 360 port, just because that's been released so many times since, and I genuinely feel that the quality of that expansion is very much worthy of its own video and own analysis in its own right. We'll get there. As always, these are just my opinions on these levels. I'm not giving an opinion for the whole community, and I'd love to hear your opinion in the comments down below. Let's get a good conversation going about Doom 2, but let's not wait any longer, let's dive into these console Doom 2 exclusive levels. Redemption Denied replaces Icon of Sin as the final level in Doom 2. I'm not quite sure if I would say this is any better than the level it's replacing, to be honest. The opening room is very reminiscent of what you'd see in level 30, but moving through the teleporter, things vastly change. You're presented with a wide open arena filled to the brim with Barons of Hell, all of whom are looking to chase you down, and to be honest the level gives you more than enough ammo to deal with all these, so they don't really present that much of a challenge. Defeat these guys and you'll end up fighting two spider masterminds who slowly stumble around the arena waiting to be shot at by yourself. Because there's so much space and because the enemies are so slow to chase you, there really isn't that much challenge in this one. It's very lackluster and it feels like so much more could have been done with this idea. Threshold of Pain, for as harsh as I was on it, does a much better job of serving as a final level, and it's much better than this one. The Mansion is a really interesting level and has all the hallmarks of a typical Doom 2 level. There are rooms here that create intense bottlenecks where you're forced to face off against multiple enemies of various types, and it can become really hectic at points. Luckily the level gives you all the tools you'll need to get through it, including a plasma rifle and well-placed super shotgun that you can grab fairly early. Some of the puzzles in this level are quite abstract and will require some deep thought in order to solve them. One room that I'm not a fan of is the flashing room where you have to bring down the pillars. I think that hiding a key in this room and not making it obvious what you're meant to do was a bit harsh. Luckily these never proved to be deal breakers, and for the most part this is a well constructed, tight level that challenges the player in a fun way. I definitely recommend this one to anyone who hasn't played it, if you want to see a well constructed, nice looking and atmospheric console Doom level. Club Doom is very much a joke level, but that's the point. The level starts out similar to other PlayStation Doom levels, moody, dark, atmospheric, but then you'll see the Williams logo, the developers behind this port, and you'll quickly realise this isn't like the other Doom levels. This is confirmed when you're walking up the stairs and that atmospheric music is replaced with heavy techno Doom beats. I'm not joking. Round the corner and you'll see a bunch of revenants shaking their thing in the nightclub. Yes, this is a nightclub level in Doom and I love it. Coming in with just a pistol, this level is actually quite tough. You'll need to grab the super shotgun and the shotgun ammo behind the counter if you want to take out the Bony Boys in this one. This level feels so out of place in Doom on the PlayStation and Saturn, yet I love every second of it because it's so tongue-in-cheek. Plus, once you're done with that room, the level's basically over. It doesn't outstay its welcome, it knows exactly what it is. It's just fun. Betray only appears in the original Xbox ports of Doom 2, and being totally honest, I think that's one too many. Sewers was bad, but this level in my opinion makes things so much worse by throwing in a heap of teleporters, a bunch of awkwardly placed rooms that don't really make any logical sense, and just looking awful to boot. Every room ends up looking the same, and navigating around is a complete hardship because there's no landmarks to find your way. You'll end up frustrated and lost in the process. Worse still, if you're playing this on original Xbox, it's entirely possible to softlock yourself if you don't grab the yellow key before arriving at the yellow door. That's how poorly designed this level is. The final room with the Archvile may actually be my least liked room in any Doom level I've ever played. I wouldn't recommend this even as a curiosity to those who've never played it. There's nothing memorable in this level at all. As you can see, there really aren't that many levels to dive into here. Doom 2's limited release on consoles means there aren't that many levels outside of the PlayStation and Saturn levels to talk about. Redemption Denied attempts to up the scale and offer a very grand looking level, but ultimately ends up falling over because it offers way too much ammo and throws only a handful of enemies to use that ammo on. Threshold of Pain actually reached the better compromise here by its last room basically serving as an icon of sin standing, and I really wish they'd brought that here because throwing in a lot of Doom 2 enemies could have made that a lot more intense. There's little reason why they couldn't have done that, so I'm very surprised that this level ended up the way it did. It's very disappointing in my opinion. Things improve massively with the Mansion, an atmospheric and well designed level that offers up a heap of fun encounters and manages to feel like a Doom 2 level. That being said, some of the puzzles are very hard to solve the first time round, and I feel that might frustrate people who are not prepared to actually solve those puzzles. But this is a very well designed level, and one that I highly recommend if you haven't gone out of your way to experience it yet. It's easily the best Doom 2 exclusive console level in my opinion. Club Doom is Club Doom. There's no other level like it in these packages, and it's very much a love it or hate it level. I love it because it's a good laugh. I know some people probably hate it because it's very chaotic, but it's over in 3 minutes and ultimately it doesn't really matter. It's a secret level, you're not forced to go to it, and it leaves a very fun impression. Betray may actually be my most disliked official level in any of the Doom canons. I find it very difficult to slog through this one, and I genuinely don't feel there's any reason that you should commit yourself to it unless you really want to say that you finished it. Of course it's not a serious level and it was put in as a novelty, but let's be honest, this level is tragically bad, and as an experience in its own right, you don't have to put yourself through it. It's also worth noting that most of these levels are actually available on the Doom WOD database in some form or another. I doubt these levels will ever see the light of day in any of the official Doom releases moving forward. It just doesn't seem like Bethesda has the appetite to bring these levels back, which is a real shame because some of them are actually a fun experience, and I think that a PSX version of Doom on the Unity port, even as an add-on like Quake 64 was added to the Quake Unity port, would be really fun for modern players, just as a way to experience these levels. Alas, we'll have to see if that ever happens in the future. So what did you think of these levels? Have you ever played them? And which was your favourite? Do let me know in the comments down below.